They're upstairs squeaking, creaking, bumping and thumping.
Double text got me out of my element. I don't wanna feel like I'm settling. Double texting you.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is MORGANNFLOWERS. If you are new here, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And if you're not new here, hey boo. As you can see from the title, we're doing a chit chat. Get ready with me. We're going to be talking content tips. We're going to be talking solo trip advice, motivation, like how to stay motivated. And let's get into it. Okay, let's jump right into it. I'm so excited to be sitting talking to y'all again. I love talking. Okay, sue me. But I'm really happy to be doing this again. I did get some questions that I had to beg for. We're not gonna talk about that. Peep the post. But I'm just like, you know how you put it on your story and everybody like, I don't know, and then they just go to the next story and forget about it. I had to remind people to like, listen, think about a question actually and come back to me. Yeah, and then I got a bunch of questions after that, which I was super appreciative of because I really have a good list of questions, just ranging from different topics. But I know I'm not going to get to all of them today because I like to talk. Again, I'm going to be done my makeup before we're done all the questions. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to use the Milk Makeup Primer. You guys know this primer already. Very popular, very much the main primer. I know e.l.f. has a bunch of good ones, so you know that's always an option too, but for the most part I always stick with this one. My mirror is over here, so y'all will see me looking over. I was like kind of iffy about the setup because I usually don't film like in front of my bed. I kind of move stuff around, and you know, I was like sitting here for a couple minutes trying to see if I liked it, but I actually do like it, so hopefully we can keep this going. And any questions left over, I'll just transfer them onto the next video, honestly. But I like this little sticky feel that it gives you. You know, they say the makeup just sticks a little bit better. I'll have everything linked below, of course. And let's see what the first question say. How did you get comfy with solo travel, and any tips, please? My main tip for solo traveling is, if you're starting out for the first time, I would suggest going somewhere that you've already been, because I feel like that's just, you feel a little bit more comfortable than trying a whole new environment, a whole new element. You don't know where to go. Why do I look so crazy? I just look real lopsided just now. But that's my number one tip, like going somewhere you've already been. That was like that's what I did first, honestly. We're first gonna go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills. The other day I literally didn't fill my eyebrows in at all. I just brushed them up with this, and then I concealed the bottom. And I was okay with that because I do like a pretty simple face, so I didn't fill them in. Like it was just kind of like a little chill look, you know. But I was comfortable with that, so we're gonna do that again. I just have their little spatula brush situation, and I like it. But my first solo trip was to Houston, and I had honestly been there already. I was there like the year before, a couple months before. So I was like, okay, like let's just do Houston, because I feel like, again, I had been there before. And it just was something that I just felt comfortable with. I was going back to the same exact hotel that I stayed in with my friends, so I was familiar with the just the location a little bit. I knew it would be downtown Houston, so again, I just was pretty comfortable with that. So that's always my number one suggestion, just like trying somewhere you've already been, you're familiar with. Of course, I looked up a bunch of different things to do. Of course, on a solo trip, you kind of like, not limited, but you're limited and then you're not. So just like look for things that you will be okay with doing alone. I'm huge on solo trips, solo dates. I actually recently wrote a blog post about solo dating that I'm actually pretty proud of. Just giving suggestions on things that we can do by ourselves. So I'm huge on that in general, and I think that a solo trip is perfect. I posted about a solo trip on Lemon8, if you guys remember that app, the app that was like here one day and gone tomorrow. I still kind of post on there. I still get a lot of like likes and stuff on there. I did a post about solo trips, and another tip that I gave was there were some comments about feeling safe and feeling comfortable like when you go places, and there are so many TikToks about preventative safety measures that you can take. Please look it up, because you can purchase so many things off Amazon, the little door stoppers, alarms, gadgets that you can keep on your keys, like just different things to make you feel comfortable. Please look into that, because that's a whole nother market, and it's important. You know, you want to feel safe wherever you go, whether you're with yourself or with your friends, with your man. So I would definitely look into that too if you're planning a solo trip. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the Born This Way. I like to just use this is a concealer. I just use it under my eyebrows. I don't really use it for the under eye. It's just for eyebrows, and I've been using this for years, honestly. Like it lasts so long because I only ever just use it for my eyebrows. So let's do that. They're upstairs squeaking, creaking, bumping and thumping. So if y'all hear that, I'm sorry. How do you manage creating content for all your platforms while working? That question. I think that I have an advantage when it comes to my job, and I say that to say I'm able to be a little bit more flexible with the work that I do. I can sit down and edit a TikTok real quick. If I worked at a desk job, for example, I wouldn't be able to. You're not going to be able to pull out your information, pull out your content, and do a little quick edit. I'm able to do that, so I take advantage of that. I also take advantage of just my time in the morning. I'm a second shifter, so in the morning I get to it. In the morning I get busy. I wake up in the morning, I do my little morning routine. I'm vlogging, I'm creating content, I'm coming up with concepts, I'm documenting in my journal and my vision book, and like I'm pouring into my free time just in different ways, and I take advantage of every opportunity I have to just do something different, do something more. Of course, working too, like having a 9-to-5, it's really not for the weak, like trying to do everything. Sometimes you're tired. Sometimes you feel like, oh, I ain't doing it today. Or even me right now, I'm off today. So I was like, you know what? Let me create this video. Let me do this video. Even though I would love to be like eating and chilling, minding my business, but it's like, I actually want to make another YouTube video. So let me go ahead and do that. So it's just like holding yourself to something. I had a thought where like I should always be having a video in the works. I should always be having something kind of like ready to upload, or just something like in the tuck that I can pull out and have for you guys. And I just kind of like held myself to that. And just posting daily on TikTok. I just always, like on my off days, I always create, I always think of new things to do. And just like, again, just holding yourself to it. That's kind of like what it comes down to. Because if you don't hold yourself to it, who is going to? If you set a goal for yourself, there's nobody else that can really hold you to that. Also, another huge thing that I've been doing lately is I'm going to creative events. Like, you find so much inspiration and stuff like that, and so much push I get from attending these events. I recently went to the one with hosted by Imani. She's the founder of CultureCon. If you guys have ever heard of CultureCon, well, you should have if you follow me, because I didn't been to CultureCon. But just staying around people who really motivate you and who are doing things that you can take from, that you can follow. She gave a couple tips at the event, and one of the tips was how to stay motivated. Create deadlines for yourself. I wrote that down because that was important to me. Like, if you say you're going to do something, you say you want to post something by the end of the month, make sure you do it. Like, actually hold yourself to it. Don't just say, I'll get to it, I'll do it at some point. Like, no, say I want to do this by this time or by this day. I'm going to give myself up until today at 7 o'clock to get this, to record, to edit this content. Like, give yourself a deadline, because again, if you're not holding yourself accountable for something, who will? Nobody. So that was an important note for me. So just getting advice and tips from people who are doing the damn thing already. People who you look up to, people who are in the shoes that you one day wish to be in, basically. The next question, do you think content creation is dying out, basically? I would say no. We just getting started. Let's rile them all up. One thing that I find to be important, yes, it's a common thought for, hold on, I feel like I was making a lot of noise. Yes, it's a common thought for content creation to be like oversaturated and everyone's trying to be a content creator. But my thing is, it's important to remember that when you see something working, you want to do it too. Like, let's be for real. If you see content creators are getting thousands of dollars from their content consistently, you like, oh, like maybe I can do this. I'm going to use this little Danessa Myricks palette. I saw Janae Barber with this first, and I found the one from Danessa, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to use a tinted moisturizer today. I'm keeping it pretty light. I tend to flock to tinted moisturizers. This is the one from Sephora collection. But I feel like once you see something working, you do it. I think that there's enough space for all of us. When you think about the brands, you think about the money that brands have. Like, once you conceptualize it, it changes your perspective. Literally just that much. I'm just gonna do like a little easy one too. But once you start like really thinking about, like, once I learned that brands actually pay so much more money for regular ads, Like when you think about a brand and you think about L'Oreal, for example. This is just a random example. You see a L'Oreal commercial, you'll never guess how much that commercial was, how much it costs to produce it. So when these brands come to creators, they have budgets. There's enough money for all of us to go around. Like, let's be for real. And once you learn that like bigger creators make so much money, it's like, of course we're all going to join. Of course we're all going to be like, oh, like, let me try. My turn, me. But what I will say, too, is it's important to remember that it takes more than just creating the content. Like, there's so much more that goes into this on the back end. Things that you, like, again, holding yourself accountable. You're running a business, right? So it's like, you got to check yourself. Like, you have to tap into your ability like never before. You know what I'm saying? But I do think that there is room for all of us to be able to participate. And there's so much money in this field. It's like incomprehensible. There's so much money in this field, and I think that like there's so much opportunity for all of us to shine, to grow. Just because you subscribe to one YouTuber does not mean you can't subscribe to 50 other. So we all have a space somewhere. You know how many people are on YouTube? Start that channel, girl. Again, it does require some extra stuff. Like, I think that some people forget that it's a business technically. So, you know, you want to make sure stuff be up to par. You want to make sure your stuff is professional. Like, people be trying to create content when it really has to look good. Like, it kind of has to look like a commercial. It has to be something that brands would want to pay you for. You know, like, don't just say, okay, well, I created this quick little one too. Where the money at? Like, no, you actually should be like putting effort into it, and you have to spend money to make money. But I think that we all are able to do that, you know. I got a couple questions about what motivated me to start creating content. I think that once I was in college and I realized that I actually do not like school, I kind of started to just tap into my creative bag. Like, I started my little business, not little business, I have to stop saying little. I started my business, and I started just like doing YouTube on some like random stuff. I was like, you know what, let me pull out the camera. And when I thought about it a little bit deeper, I've always been a camera girl. Like, I was always the one to have my camera out. Like, I have old clips of me just recording stuff, or like if I had my old Snapchat account, people would comment on my stuff like, I love watching your stories, because like I was always the one to capture the moment. Like, that was something I enjoyed doing in general. So when I started YouTube, I was like, I actually love doing this. Like, I actually love just recording, capturing little moments. I know I'm blending this in for forever, but sometimes the camera may pick it up a little bit differently, but I actually love the coverage on it. It's just super simple. It's like not a no makeup look, because you can tell I have makeup. I can tell I got makeup on, but it's very lightweight. So I do really love the tinted moisturizer in general. So, but I was always the one to love like capturing moments and sharing them with my friends, creating visuals. So it's just once I started it and once I realized that I loved it, it was a wrap. I said, oh, I can see this for myself. Like, I can see it. I actually love doing this. So that's kind of where that started, and that was in 2020. Like, I wasn't consistent in 2020. That was when the thought first came to mind. I'm just tapping to get a little bit excess just in case I left some behind. Just little quick beauty blender moment. But I was like, I actually really love this and I enjoy it. And even now, I enjoy creating community and just like doing things, inspiring people to get creative, inspiring people to try different hobbies. Like, I just enjoy sharing different stories and just visually storytelling. Like, I want to get more into it, like even deeper than what I am, you know. How do you deal with burnout, lack of motivation, and comparison as a creator? Honestly, as far as the first question goes, like the burnout portion, I haven't experienced burnout yet. So I'm not sure how I would cross that hurdle when I get there, but I haven't dealt with it yet. I feel like I don't know. I know everyone's process is different. I'm just going to use a Sephora's collection concealer, which I love. I love the consistency of it. It's like not too thick. Anyway, but I haven't dealt with burnout yet, and I think it's because for me personally, I don't feel like I've done enough to be burnt out. Like, I don't feel like I've pushed myself to that extent yet. Now, of course, me creating every day, I think it's very possible to be burnt out, and if you do experience burnout, please take a break. Like, it's not worth your mental health and stuff like that. I do feel like I personally have not done enough to feel any sense of burnout. Like, we creating, you know what I'm saying? We going full throttle, babes. Let's go. Let's get into it. You know, that's kind of my mentality right now. And of course, when I experience burnout, I will let y'all know. Like, I will be like, you know what, let's actually take a little break. Oh, this is the Say bronzer. I love this bronzer so bad. But I have experienced just like kind of like a mental health situation where I was like, oh, I just need to take a little time for myself. I was feeling very like low at a period in time, but that wasn't necessarily due to content creation. That was just kind of how I was feeling. Just some things that going on in my personal life. And I took a break then. Like I wasn't vlogging. And I think moments like that are important. You should take moments like that, not lightly, like take them seriously and take the time that you need for sure. So how do I deal with lack of motivation? I think that one thing that I learned again from the event with Imani, the one in New York that I went to not too long ago, she said you can't rely on motivation. So that's one key thing to note. Don't rely on motivation to get you through stuff. Elf setting spray. I've been spraying in between my makeup. It's just something that I picked up on. I don't know who got me doing this. Somebody do. Somebody did it. I don't know who though. But it's important to not rely on motivation to get through stuff, right? Like you can't just be like, okay, I'm not motivated, so I'm not getting it done. It has to be something deeper than motivation. So I don't think I lean into, like, being motivated is great because it's great when you wake up and you're like, let's get it, like let's go, I feel great. Or you watch something and you get a ping of motivation. That's amazing. It's a great feeling. But it's so much deeper than that. You have to make sure that you can tap into why you like to do what you do. Do you just enjoy creating in general? Like I'm gonna post something whether it does well or not. Like I'm gonna post it. I'm not gonna delete it. I mean, I may have deleted it a couple times like in my past, but for the most part, like if I post a reel and it doesn't do that well, I get 30 likes on it, I'll probably keep it up. Like, you know, just because maybe I just enjoyed the content myself. So it's less of motivation and more of just like just enjoying what it is that you're doing or what it is that you've created. So I try not to like think too much about being motivated. See that? I love this bronze. I just love the bronze. I mean, I love it. I use it as a contour. I mean, it's the same thing for me, child. I mean, they both get used in the same way. But I love how this looks on my face. And I'm literally just like kind of brushing up. I've started doing this brushing up thing. I've heard that it's just better. Child. So we've been doing that. So how do you deal with comparison? Comparison is still something that I struggle with, and I think it's because other people see you and you acknowledge that you are doing something that you enjoy doing, but you don't get the same recognition, or you're kind of waiting for your moment. And I think that's just the important part of it. Enjoy the process until your moment comes. Like I feel like my YouTube should be way bigger. Like I feel like, oh my gosh, like it's taking me so forever to grow. It's taking me so long to grow. But I'm trying to appreciate that little growth. And I think that changing your perspective is huge too. Instead of me thinking about like I'm growing so slowly and I've been on YouTube for so long and I think of it now more as that slow growth is important. I feel like the moments when you have your tribe and you have the people that consistently watch you, shout out to y'all, like thank you so much. You have those moments and it feels more personal. It's like you see me, like you're watching me because you genuinely want to be here, you genuinely want to watch me. Focus on those moments. I need to focus on like every little subscriber that I get. When it goes up 1 and it goes up 2 and it goes up 3, I'm excited. Like, you know, it's just like, yes, like just appreciating every moment you reach, you know, instead of being like, oh dang, like I should have at least 5,000 by now, or my video didn't do that well. I try not to think of it like that because it's just kind of like is what it is. I will have my moment, you know. That's kind of like what I rely on. That's the thought that I keep in my head. I think it looks pretty good. I think it gave my forehead a nice little, like, it brought back some color to my face. So I really do love the Say bronzer. And also, like, when you appreciate little moments, you appreciate the big stuff even more. Like when I get invited to stuff, or brands reach out to me, or I get a paid collaboration, it hits so differently because I'm just like, oh my goodness, I've been working for this. You know what I'm saying? It just hits so differently. So I just try to appreciate the little moments and not focus too much on comparison, because it's easy to look at other people like, dang, like I can't even get that. I can't even get 60 likes. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to think about stuff like that. But I think that everyone has their moments, and just like I said earlier, there's space for all of us. So I'm going to be in the space at some point. Y'all going to see me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, just appreciating every step that I take. Biggest piece of advice for women in their 20s. It's harder to say the biggest because I feel like there's so much advice that we can take. But one thing that I've been sticking to lately, like this one quote, I've been like, you guys probably, some of you might know what I'm going to say because I feel like I've said it a couple times before. but there's so much to look forward to. Like, I can't get that quote out of my head. Once I said that to myself, it was up. Okay, it's so much to look forward to. Like, you're in this moment right now, and it's not going to last forever, but there's so much more to look forward to that that can be transformative, that can change your life, that can be like so impactful. Like, even right now, I'm living in this space, and I know that I'm not going to be here forever. I'm looking forward to the moment that I'm not here. You know, it's so much to look forward to. And I think that it's harping on those little moments that can leave us feeling stuck. You know, it's just so much more to look forward to. It's so much to life. Even if you're in a relationship right now and maybe it's not going as well as you need it to, you want to look forward to the moment when you get out of that and you get into something new, into something refreshing. You're going to be living in a different prayer at some point. There's so much to look forward to. Like, look forward to those moments. Even if now feels a little bit rough. So much to look forward to. Like, I can't stop saying that to myself. If you could swap closets with anyone, who would it be? I actually love this question. I love this question. And I feel like my answer to this was very, like, it's not typical. Like, I feel like somebody might say, oh, Rihanna, or like, you know, something like that. My answer would be Uche Notori. I'm going to put some of her stuff on the screen. I love the way she dresses. I think it can be very simple, but it's still like statement pieces, or still very eye-catching. I love when she wears little two-piece sets. Like, they just be so cute. And I think because her makeup is always done so well too. Like, everything just always looks so put together to me. And I'm a huge fan of her. I love her content and her makeup, her outfits. A lot of her outfits that I've seen are usually in her videos, so she don't take a whole lot of pictures. You know, like, some of her outfits be just like within her video, and I always find myself liking them. So I would love to see what her wardrobe look like. I would love to see what she got in stow up in there. And she's also not afraid of color, and I like that too. Like, it's not so much of the neutral, which I tend to lean towards, but I love that she incorporates some color. I'm thinking of like a green outfit that she had on at some point. So I love her wardrobe. I know I look a little crazy right now. Hold on, bear with me. It's gonna come together, trust me. That was the concealer that I put on top was actually the e.l.f. one, and I looked for this on the website and I couldn't find it. It's in deep olive. I know I bought this in store, but I couldn't find it on the website for some reason. I'll try to look for that again. But it has like an olive undertone to it, so I really like the color that it adds to my concealer. All right, I'm trying not to pick all my content creation based ones. Are mismatched socks on a man a red flag? I would say yes. I would say he don't take himself seriously. He not gonna take you seriously. You know, like, that's the vibe it's giving. It's given, I don't really care. Because what if your socks are showing? You just got different socks on? Like, you know, I think that's just a little insane. You know, and on top of that, I don't wear mismatched socks. Like, all my socks got a pair. You know, now, no shade if your socks be mismatched. You know, but me, personally, I keep my socks in order. And I don't know, like, little stuff like that be mattering. Now, if it was like, oh, if his underwear doesn't match his socks, like, stuff like that doesn't really matter. But, like, if he got mismatched socks on, like, what are you doing, sir? What does your hamper closet look like? Why are your socks not together in an organized fashion? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got other questions now, you know? But that's just my little thing. That's just my little thing, child. But I thought that was a funny question. Like, does it matter? A little bit. Maybe just a little bit. I mean, I won't say a red flag. It might be like, it's like a little, it's a beige, not a beige flag. It might be just like, not yellow per se, but it's kind of like, it's like pale yellow. Like, you know, it's not like red light, green light yellow. It's like just pale yellow. How often do you publish your newsletter or publish written works to your site? My goal for this year was honestly to do 1 blog post per year. I mean, per quarter. So for a year, basically. And I set something so small. Like, that's not a lot at all. 1 every 3 months. Like, that's not a lot at all. You're not attracting any consistent viewers to your site with those numbers. But last year I only did 1 for the whole year. So I was like, okay, let's bump it up and try to do 4 at least, and just give myself a little bit of structure. But honestly, I'm already working. I literally earlier today I was working on my second one of the year already. I already did my first one, which I was really proud of. It's just about like solo dating tips. And then I'm working on my second one now, and it's still January. So I'm just like, I actually love doing this. Spraying again. And what it was for me is understanding that my blog didn't have to be anything super transformative. It doesn't even have to be how I overcame struggle at 8 years old, and how, like, it doesn't even have to be anything crazy. It can just be something simple. And I think I mentioned this in my vlog, but Any Given Sunday, she's the reason. Oh, I would take her wardrobe too. I love any style. But anyway, I also realized that through her, she reminded me, because she does blog posts as well, it doesn't have to be anything extra. Your blog can be simple. It can be just simple advice, everyday stuff. It doesn't have to be anything transformative. It doesn't have to be anything like mind-blowing and world-changing and I'm stopping the global crisis. No, it can be very simple. I'm just using the say again because I like to put this on my eyelids. Kind of like as a base. I like that it gives like a little brown color. It's like doing nothing but doing something. It's just a little color. But anyway, yeah, she reminded me of that because she did a post about an event that she hosted in her home. Like, it was just like something very simple. It was a paint and sip actually. And I was like, duh, Morgan, like, you can just do something simple. Like, post about something basic. Give some tips. The regular tips that I think of for myself, the stuff that I talk about in my vlog. Is that messy? The stuff that I talk about within my vlog, tips that I give on TikTok, like, make other content about it. I mean, make other content, you know, surrounding that same concept. It doesn't have to be anything super transformative, life-changing. It doesn't have to be anything super dramatic. My next blog post, I guess I'll tell you guys, this will not be out before the blog post. I'm going to try to do the blog post before this one come out. But the next blog post is about how to celebrate Valentine's Day, like in your house with your friends. It's very, very typical, very simple. Not typical, but it's very simple because I feel like Valentine's Day has gotten increasingly more popular over the last couple years, I would say, because I did one last year. But I was like, since Valentine's Day is coming up, I can do something around, like, based around that theme. So that one, if you guys want to read it, it's on my website. It's going to be linked below if you want to check it out. But like stuff like that, like, it doesn't even have to be nothing crazy. And I have a nice little list that I'm developing of ideas that I can talk about, things that I can mention and just like make light of, you know. And how often do I update my newsletter? I do it once a month. I did fall off a couple months last year, like towards the end of the year. Again, that was when I had my little break. I wasn't really beat for nothing. So I did take a bit of a break then, but I'm monthly. Like, my newsletter for February is done already, and I'm gonna get right into March. You know, like, holding yourself to stuff. That's kind of like what it is. Giving yourself a deadline. Make sure you're done that newsletter before you want to submit it. You know. Okay, I had to change my battery, so hopefully we're still good. But moving on to the next question, I'm about to, what am I going to do? I'm going to do something to my eyes in a second. I did get 2 questions about coming up with like topics for content. How do you come up with topics for TikTok? I want to get on there and talk versus more reels. Kind of randomly, like, you kind of just remember that there's so much to talk about. Like, you especially if you're a lifestyle creator. Let's get on there and talk about something random. Sometimes what I did yesterday, I literally did my makeup and went to my, this is also what I do too. I'll go to my notes, and if I think of a concept or something that I want to try creating, I just write it in my notes. And then whenever I feel like talking about it, or whenever I have my makeup done, or whatever I think more about the topic, I just do it in that moment. So I just come up with things as the day goes on. Sometimes it's very random. I just have this little Danessa Myricks, what is it called? Color Fix. She has so many colors of this one. Let me just show y'all the color of it. It's so pretty. It's just so gorgeous. I think this is in Venus. And I've used this before, but it just never gets old for me. I'm just going to put a dab on my lid over that Say brown color. She has so many pretty colors. I love Danessa. But also, like I said, just kind of remembering that there's so much to talk about. And as you're doing your daily do's, like, just record random stuff. Like, if you want to make an iced coffee in the morning, record yourself making an iced coffee. Like, you know, just add that to your content list. Because some people, and make it an ASMR. Or if you know you're going out this week, make sure you add some extra time in your day to record you getting ready. Or, like I said, yesterday I did my makeup and I just started like talking about stuff that I just started creating. I just pressed play. I also went through my sounds. Sometimes if you hear a sound that you might be able to find something to do to later, just save it and come back to it. I just went through my sounds to see, okay, what can I do to this sound? It was this blinking sound that's just like a cartoon blink. It was just like blink, blink, blink. And I just recorded me just going blink, blink, blink. And it's literally sitting in my drafts, but I don't have anything to talk about with it for now, but I can use it in the future. If something's trending, a trending topic, I can just upload it, put a little word over the screen, and post it. So, like, I just draft stuff sometimes. So, again, just, like, recording on the daily, like, recording daily stuff. I think I talked about this before on my TikTok. Like, I enjoy a creator that is random. Like, sometimes that regular content where we just chatting, or it feels like FaceTime, like that FaceTime content concept, it's important. Like, just pull up the camera, talk about, you know, your day, or talk about something that you've been thinking about. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll look at my old pieces of content and figure out what I can do as a follow-up, or what I can do that's similar to it. Like, I had a video go like kind of viral, like baby viral, and it was about your favorite long songs, which I think I mentioned to you guys before. I'm just going to use the NARS blush in Insatiable. It's like a pretty berry color. Exactly. This is the content this is what I did yesterday. I literally just, I was like, oh, I kind of want to create content about this. I literally did my makeup and showed myself putting on the blush. That was the content. Like, just showing off the blush. That was it. Like, just very simple stuff. Think about your makeup products. Think about like I said, your makeup product, something that you want to highlight. Maybe you want to talk about a mascara. Pull out a mascara that you love using and just record content about that mascara. Like, just come up with stuff as you go, as you're doing your makeup, as you're talking, and just talk about it. You know, just talk about it. Just give it a little something, something. You never know what person is looking for berry color mascaras. It could just be something that TikTok or Instagram decides to push for that day. Who knows? You know, sometimes you just gotta get out in the field and just do it. You know, if you come up with a concept, write it down if you can't do it at that exact moment, but make sure you come back to it. Now, one thing I can say I haven't mastered yet is the pre-planning. Like, content creators who can plan their whole month out. Like, I know exactly what I'm going to do on February 30th, or not 30th, February 26th. Like, I can't plan that far ahead, because that would just require my schedule to look the same, and my schedule just never looks the same from week to week. So I just kind of plan as I go, and if I think of a concept, I'll plan for that within the week. Like, I can't do something too far out, or set like bulk creating days. I've done that before too, where I just take a day, my off day, and I'll make like 3 or 4 or 5 pieces of content. And just like dedicate a couple hours to just switching from concept to concept. And what I'll do with that is I'll record me doing that, and that's like a whole nother video. So just like taking stuff as you go, doing stuff as you go, making separating one concept into 2. If you do your makeup, if you record yourself doing your makeup, there's one video of you doing your whole makeup, and another video of you highlighting your eyeshadow. Make that a whole separate video so that you can just focus on one particular product in your routine. You know, make one thing into 2. Like, you know, you just finesse stuff like that. Okay, I'm gonna use the Huda Beauty to set. This is in banana bread, and I love stuff like this because it just lasts so long. I done had this for about, I don't know how many years now, child, but I pretty much just kind of tap it into my hand and then just pick up the excess with the powder puff. And I love a good powder puff. Oh gosh. Every once in a while I give like I give a little swipe down there, because I be like, it does create like a little illusion that you have like a little situation going on, you know. So the next question is, what was one of the biggest obstacles you had to face with making content, or in general? But I thought about the answer to this question when she asked me this. I was like, oh, I thought about something instantly. And my answer to that was the realization that these spaces were not created for us. Like, as a Black creator, I mean, we get the short end of the stick, okay? We do. It's just how the cookie crumble. It's how life is, unfortunately. So when you talk about creator spaces, you have to push a little harder. Like, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. As much as I want to say, okay, well, it shouldn't be like this. It absolutely shouldn't. But since it is, in 2024, you have to just do a little bit more. You know, people always have these conversations about, oh, the biggest Alex Earl, and why don't we have an Alex Earl and Clark and Monet McMichael? And there's things about that situation that are very race-based, you know? And these algorithms have algorithms that are set up to not, we are not the ones that profit from the way the algorithms are set up. Like, let's just be for real. I think that was super tough to super tough to understand and super tough to get over, because you like, my content is good, like why don't I get enough recognition, or why can so and so or this creator of this race, she can post something super simple and it goes viral and I've never had a viral video, or she has, like, there's so much you can think about when it comes to stuff like that. And I think getting over that was very difficult. I don't think I'm really even over it. I think I've just kind of accepted it. I think that's kind of what it is. I'm just kind of like, there's so many creators who talk about the same experience. There are so many creators who say it's difficult to be a Black creator in these spaces. We have not had it easy. So that's a huge obstacle. Like, so I just try to take advantage of every little opportunity that I get. If a brand invites me somewhere in New York, I'm gonna try to see how I can make it work, because I feel like to show my face in these spaces is important. To show that, like, girls like me, if we, us, you know, I ain't light skinned, so, you know, brown skinned, you know, if your complexion's a little bit darker, we can fit in. We fit in just as much as anybody. We can fit in just as much as anybody else, even though there are certain things that brands look for. There are certain things that the algorithm pushes, certain complexions that are generally more popular. But I just want to, like, show up and show out. Like, that's just kind of like what I put in my head that I gotta do. I'm just going to use the NARS. This is the NARS soft matte powder. I'm just going to use that to brush away the setting powder. But yeah, I was like, oh, that's my answer. That's an obstacle right there for us Black creators. We gotta push, especially like to be a woman. It's a whole nother obstacle we talking about. The Black male content creators, the Black male vloggers, they be making money. They do. And a part of it, of course, they have an obstacle because they're Black, but also they're men. So they have it a little bit easier because they're men. A woman, we gonna deal with the nonsense. Like, when I say they be making money, I'm talking like $50,000 collaborations. Like, we're talking money. We're talking move to LA and get a corner apartment money. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's very, like, not saying it's very easy, but there are so many women, there are so many female women creators in this space that have not been able to do that. Not saying their content isn't good. We just get disadvantaged being a woman, number one, and being a Black woman, number two. Now, for mascara, I'm just going to use this little, like, sampler I have. It's a Valentino one. It's called Ultra Narrow, but I used this earlier. Beautiful. Like, my lashes were like pow pow. Like, they was like, oh, okay, let's make an appearance, and I like that. But I think that's also why I appreciate, like, the Black brands and, like, NARS taking creators on trips, Topical is taking Black creators on trips. Like, it's so important that we are in these spaces, like, because we do such great work. We're such a creative group of people. Like, it's no secret, we have so much talent. So for us to not be in the spaces is just crazy to me. Like, why would you not want us in the mix? Are you serious? Do you not understand a lot of your ideas come from us? Like, are you dumb? I think that this is not to take away from other people who are creative, other people in other races who are creative, but, like, we be killing stuff. Like, we really do. It's just important to be sure that we're curating these environments and these spaces that allow us to shine, you know? Like I was saying earlier, like, creator events, I'm going to be there, especially when they're hosted by Black creatives, by like Imani, and there are so many other Black inspirational talents who host events, and people that we can take tips from and just kind of like follow in their shoes almost. And I'm gonna continue to support my girls, because, like, we already don't get enough support as it is, you know? I love this mascara, like, down. I'm just using, this is my lip gloss from my old brand, so it's nothing I can link. I've also gotten questions about my old gloss. Like, it's so funny that a couple people have mentioned my old, I used to make lip glosses. So a couple people have come out of the woodworks about my glosses, and it's not motivating me to bring back my lip gloss business, but it is motivating me to start something. It's motivating me to tap into something on the creative side, something that identifies with me. Like, you see it, you think of me. It's definitely motivating me to do that. So let me throw something on, and I'll be right back. Yeah, we can't forget about her. Oh, okay. I think for the last question, I wanted to be, what do you hope to do with your community as it continues to grow? I think my answer to that is I want to continue to be an inspiration to people. I want to continue driving you guys to be creative and to tune into new things. Like I said, like hobbies, I want to grow with you guys. I want to be inspired by you guys as well. I want to just continue to be an example of a Black creator who's thriving in this area and wearing multiple hats. You know, whether you work your 9 to 5, whether you have different business ventures that you want to try, whether you are just multifaceted. I want to continue to be an example for that, and just have fun with the process. Make it lighthearted, make it fun, make it cute. I want to do my community stuff and like host events that allow people to be creative and just like come together, meet different creatives in the area. And I hope that we do that all 2024. We're just gonna keep going with it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm ready to go eat, so bye.
Double text got me out of my element. I don't wanna feel like I'm settling. Double